Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching from. Let me start with a surprising fact. Less than 50 cents. That's about what a single serving of one of the healthiest fruits in the grocery store can cost. It's available almost everywhere, and research suggests it may help support healthy blood sugar when it's part of an overall balanced diet. That fruit is the blueberry. But before you think, I already know blueberries are healthy, stay with me. Because how you eat them, how much you eat, and even what you eat them with can make a surprising difference. Now, here's the question. When you walk through the produce section, how do you know which fruits are the best choice if you're trying to manage your blood sugar? Many people assume that all fruit is equally healthy. Others believe they should avoid fruit altogether because of the natural sugar. The truth lies somewhere in between. Some fruits have a smaller impact on blood sugar than others, while portion size, fiber content, and overall diet all play important roles. I'm Dr. Christopher Adams, and today we're going to rank 7 of the most popular fruits from the least blood sugar friendly to the most supportive for people over 60. I'll explain why each fruit ranks where it does, the nutrients that make a difference, and the simple mistakes that cause many people to miss out on their benefits. And be sure to stay until the end, because the number 1 fruit consistently surprises people. It's affordable, easy to find, and backed by research for its potential role in supporting healthy blood sugar as part of a balanced eating pattern. Before we begin, I have 2 quick requests. If you're over 60 and interested in healthy aging, blood sugar, and nutrition, consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos. And I'd love to hear from you. What's the fruit you eat most often? Leave it in the comments below. I read as many comments as I can, and your answers help inspire future videos. Now, let's get started. First, let me explain why fruit is so confusing for anyone trying to manage blood sugar. Because fruit is not just one thing. It's not like salt, where more is worse and less is better. Think of fruit as a medicine cabinet. Some bottles inside that cabinet help heal you. Some make you sicker, and a few of them look almost identical on the outside. Yet what's inside is completely different. Here's what happens inside your body when you eat fruit. The sugar in fruit is primarily fructose. Unlike glucose, fructose doesn't go directly into your bloodstream. Instead, it takes a detour. It goes to your liver first. Your liver has to process it. And in small amounts, especially when the fruit's natural fiber is still intact, your liver handles it just fine. Your blood sugar stays relatively stable. No dramatic spike, no sudden crash. But here's the part almost nobody explains. When you eat fruit without its fiber, when you juice it, blend it, or choose a fruit that's naturally low in fiber and high in sugar, that fructose floods your liver. Your liver becomes overwhelmed. It starts converting that fructose directly into fat. Even worse, it triggers something called hepatic insulin resistance. Your liver gradually stops responding properly to insulin. And once that happens, your fasting blood sugar begins to rise, even while you're asleep, even if you haven't eaten for 12 hours. That's exactly why some fruits help control blood sugar, while others make it worse. So, let's rank them, all 7. As we go, keep a mental note of which ones are already sitting in your kitchen because by the end of this video, you'll probably want to walk in there and rearrange a few things. Number 7, watermelon. This is the fruit I warned you about in the first 30 seconds. The one most seniors reach for every summer because they believe it's the safest option simply because it's mostly water. And yes, it is mostly water, about 92%. That's precisely the trap. Watermelon has a glycemic index of approximately 76. In simple terms, that's actually higher than a spoonful of ordinary table sugar. And it contains very little fiber to slow down the absorption of that sugar. So that large refreshing slice on a hot July afternoon enters your bloodstream almost as quickly as drinking a can of soda. The water tricks you into believing nothing happened. Your pancreas knows otherwise. Watermelon should be treated as an occasional treat. A few small cubes served alongside a handful of nuts. That's reasonable. It is not a fruit to eat by the bowl while relaxing on the porch. That bowl creates a significant blood sugar spike, and about an hour later, you'll likely feel the energy crash that follows. Number 6, pineapple. Pineapple has earned a reputation as a healthy fruit, largely because it contains bromelain. Bromelain is an enzyme often promoted for supporting digestion and reducing inflammation and swelling. Here's the problem. Bromelain does absolutely nothing to improve your blood sugar. Meanwhile, pineapple has a glycemic index of around 66, along with a substantial amount of rapidly absorbed sugar and very little fiber to slow its effects. Canned pineapple packed in syrup is even worse. Pineapple juice is worse still. Why? Because once you remove the fiber entirely, you're back to flooding your liver with fructose exactly the way I described just a few moments ago. Fresh pineapple eaten in small amounts after a balanced meal that already contains protein and healthy fats is something your body can usually handle. But eating pineapple by itself on an empty stomach is essentially a rapid sugar delivery system with a tropical flavor. Number 5. Mango. People call mango the king of fruits, and they say it as though it's automatically a complement to your health. One medium-sized mango contains approximately 45 grams of sugar. That's more sugar than you'll find in many candy bars. Its glycemic index is around 60. Now, mango does provide valuable vitamin C along with carotenoids, the natural orange pigments that offer genuine health benefits. But for someone trying to control blood glucose, the sheer sugar content overwhelms those benefits. So, think of mango as a dessert. A few thin slices are perfectly reasonable, but half a mango chopped into your breakfast bowl is likely to produce a blood sugar reading you'll watch climb on your glucose meter. Number 4. The banana. This is the fruit you'll find in almost every kitchen across America. And this is where things become especially interesting, because bananas perfectly illustrate the entire message of this video. A banana is not a fixed food. It changes dramatically as it ripens. A firm banana with green tips contains a large amount of resistant starch. Resistant starch is a type of carbohydrate that your body cannot digest quickly. As a result, it moves more slowly through your digestive system and has only a minimal effect on your blood sugar. But as that banana sits on the kitchen counter and the peel develops brown spots, that resistant starch gradually converts into simple sugar. A heavily spotted, overripe banana can reach a glycemic index of approximately 62. The very same banana, a completely different effect just 3 days later. And here's where most people make the mistake. The exact same mistake they make with blueberries, which I'll come back to shortly. They choose the softest, sweetest, brownest banana, eat it by itself first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and then wonder why they're shaky, hungry, and searching for food by 10 o'clock. A half of a green-tipped banana eaten with a spoonful of peanut butter or a boiled egg is a perfectly reasonable choice. A brown overripe banana eaten alone at 7 in the morning is almost guaranteed to produce a blood sugar spike followed by an energy crash. So there you have the first 4: watermelon, pineapple, mango, and the overripe banana. 4 fruits that may already be sitting quietly in your kitchen while working against the very goal you're trying to achieve. Now, let's move on to the 3 fruits that actually work in your favor. Number 3, apple. You've heard the saying, an apple a day your entire life. And it turns out there's quite a bit of truth to it with one important condition. You have to leave the skin on. The apple's greatest advantage comes from pectin. Pectin is a soluble fiber found primarily just beneath the peel. Inside your digestive tract, it forms a gel-like substance that dramatically slows the absorption of sugar. The peel also contains the majority of the apple's polyphenols, plant compounds associated with a healthier and more stable insulin response. Peel the apple, and you've essentially thrown away the medicine while keeping the sugar. Turn it into applesauce or apple juice, and it becomes even less favorable than eating a peeled apple. A whole apple eaten with its skin has a glycemic index of around 36, making it one of the gentlest fruits on this entire list for blood sugar control. The instruction couldn't be simpler. Eat the whole apple. Keep the skin on. That's it. Number 2, grapefruit. Grapefruit has the lowest glycemic index of every fruit we've discussed today, approximately 25. It also contains a natural compound called neuringen. Neuringen is the bitter flavonoid responsible for grapefruit's distinctive sharp taste. Research has associated this compound with improved insulin sensitivity. On paper, grapefruit is almost the perfect fruit for supporting healthy blood sugar. But here I need to draw a very clear line. This is the one fruit on today's list that can genuinely be dangerous for some people, and it has absolutely nothing to do with sugar. Grapefruit blocks an enzyme in your intestines called CYP3A4. Your body depends on this enzyme to break down many commonly prescribed medications, including numerous cholesterol-lowering statins and several blood pressure medications. When grapefruit blocks that enzyme, those medications can accumulate in your bloodstream to levels they were never intended to reach. That is not a minor risk. So if you take a statin or a blood pressure medication, do not add grapefruit to your daily routine until you have asked your pharmacist whether your medication is on that interaction list. It only takes one phone call. If you are not taking any of those medications, grapefruit becomes a quiet champion for blood sugar control. Half a grapefruit in the morning eaten in whole segments, so you keep all of the natural fiber, has very little impact on your blood sugar. Now we've reached number 1, the blueberry. The 49-cent berry I mentioned at the beginning. Here's exactly why it earns the top spot and why most people unknowingly throw away nearly all of its benefits. The key active compound in blueberries is anthocyanin. Anthocyanins are the deep blue-purple pigments concentrated in the skin of the berry, and they help improve the way your body's cells respond to insulin. A published clinical trial found measurable improvements in insulin sensitivity after approximately 6 weeks from blueberry compounds alone. Now, here's the mistake I promised to reveal at the very beginning. Most people destroy those benefits before they ever reach their bloodstream. They blend blueberries into smoothies, which breaks apart the fiber and floods the liver with fructose, the exact mechanism we discussed earlier. They bake them into muffins loaded with refined flour and sugar, or they sprinkle them over a bowl of sweetened breakfast cereal. As a result, whatever benefit the blueberries provide becomes buried beneath the blood sugar spike created by everything surrounding them. When you do that, you cancel out most of the advantage. You're eating the bottle while pouring the medicine down the drain. The correct way is almost unbelievably simple. Eat half a cup of whole blueberries, fresh or frozen, because freezing does not reduce their anthocyanin content, alongside a source of protein and healthy fat to slow digestion, whole, not blended, not baked, not buried under sweetened cereal. Now let me tell you about Doris. She was 64 years old when she first showed me an A1C of 8.4. For those who aren't familiar with that number, your A1C reflects your average blood sugar over approximately 3 months. An A1C of 8.44 is typically the point where doctors begin having serious conversations about starting insulin therapy. 90 days later, her A1C measured 6.1. Her endocrinologist genuinely asked what she had changed because a reduction that large almost always means a new medication has been prescribed. She answered with just 2 words: one fruit. What Doris actually did was mix half a cup of whole blueberries into plain Greek yogurt every single morning. The protein and healthy fat in the yogurt slowed the digestion and absorption of the fruit. No smoothie, no sweetened cereal. And she made one additional change. She stopped drinking the glass of orange juice she had consumed with breakfast every morning for 40 years. Because that glass of juice had been undoing the benefits of her blueberries every single morning before she even walked out the front door. A 49-cent serving of one of the least expensive berries in the grocery store, eaten whole with protein, replaced a glass of fruit juice that had quietly been raising her fasting blood sugar overnight. 3 months from 8.44 to 6.1. Her endocrinologist wrote it down. So here's exactly what you should do starting tonight before this becomes just another video you watched and then forgot. Step 1. Walk into your kitchen and identify the 4 fruits we've discussed: watermelon, pineapple, mango, and any banana that has become soft, overripe, and covered with brown spots. You don't have to throw them away. You simply need to stop thinking of them as everyday snacks and start treating them as occasional desserts. Eat small portions after a balanced meal. Never eat them by themselves on an empty stomach. Step 2. Tomorrow morning, eat half a cup of whole blueberries, fresh or frozen, with plain Greek yogurt or a small handful of nuts. Not in a smoothie, not sprinkled over cereal. Whole. Step 3. If there's fruit juice in your refrigerator, orange juice, apple juice, or any other variety, finish the glass you already have and let that be your last one. Fruit juice is one of the fastest ways to undo every positive habit we've discussed in this video. Step 4. Keep whole apples with the skin on in a bowl where you'll actually see them. Eat them whole. The skin is where much of the benefit is found. Step 5. And this one is not optional. If you take a statin or medication for high blood pressure, call your pharmacist before adding grapefruit to your diet. One phone call. Don't guess. And never stop taking a prescribed medication because of something you watched online, including anything I've said here. Choosing the right fruit is the easy part. Drug interactions are the part that can send people to the hospital. Here's the lesson I hope stays with you. Doris changed 2 things that morning. She added blueberries, and she eliminated the orange juice she had been drinking with breakfast every single day for 40 years. That second change was every bit as important as the first. The fruit you choose to add to your breakfast often matters less than the drink you've been consuming every morning, the one that's raising your blood sugar before you've even sat down to eat. That's exactly what we'll cover in the next video. The 3 morning drinks that most adults over 60 consume every day that quietly raise fasting blood sugar, and the 2 drinks that can genuinely help lower it. One of them is probably sitting in your hand right now. If you want your numbers to improve the way Doris's did, that's where we're going next. I'm Dr. Christopher Adams, and I'll see you in the next